Join us as we cruise Nicaragua's sun-soaked coastline, hike straight into the breath of the very active Telica Volcano, and head for one of the planet's biggest lake islands, where a tiny misunderstanding almost gets us booted off the ferry.
We took a boat from León in El Salvador to Potosí in Nicaragua to avoid having to apply for a Honduran visa for me. The entire process, from clearing customs in El Salvador to officially entering Nicaragua, took around 5 hours and was surprisingly smooth. The Nicaraguan border officials were friendly, though they did inspect every piece of luggage, and everyone seemed to pay a different entrance fee for reasons no one could quite explain.
Ready?
Let's do it. Heat of the day.
While the heat was just as intense here as it had been in El Salvador, one noticeable difference was the traffic. There was almost none once we left Potosí.
Cycling through El Salvador often felt like riding through non-stop development, so finally reaching the wide, green, open spaces of Nicaragua felt almost surreal. The quiet was unbelievable, and even the animals seemed relaxed enough to wander freely across the road. One horse even decided to challenge me to a race.
Our first stop for the night was in the traditional fishing village of Jiquilillo. It's a very quiet village full of friendly locals, and it's also a popular surfing spot. While we were too tired to catch the waves, we enjoyed watching the sunset. How was the first day in Nicaragua?
Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Nice beach. Nice people. Yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise so far.
Oh, Loba. How was the night?
Warm. Very warm. Yeah, the power went out. I don't know what time, but the fan stopped working, so we just lay there in a pool of our own sweat basically all night, which was nice. And yeah, there was some frogs kicking about the room, a bat, some mice, goodness knows what else, but yeah, it was an entertaining night in the cabin. And today we have 80 kilometers ahead of us to León. A little bit apprehensive about how much busier the roads are going to get, but yeah, we'll take a day off there, which is much needed, because at the moment living on like getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and it's really quite tiring stuff in this heat, so it'll be nice to get there and just rest for a couple of days. But yeah, that's the plan today. We knew the roads would get busier once we reached Chinandega, so we made the most of the morning and enjoyed the peaceful ride. We were also a bit nervous about the traffic in general, since a couple of friends had crossed the country a week earlier and one of them had been hit by a car.
As we got closer to the city, hundreds of pedicabs suddenly appeared, which worked in our favor. It meant there were also a few cycle lanes.
While cities usually meant dealing with heavy traffic, we didn't mind it this time, because it quickly became clear that our fast food diet was finally over. Nicaragua was full of great, inexpensive places to eat, many of which offered plenty of vegetarian-friendly options.
Also, an interesting fact about Nicaragua, they don't have formal addresses. All you get when you want to get somewhere is directions on what it looks like and what is nearby.
We eventually arrived in the vibrant city of León, home to the largest cathedral in all of Central America, the Catedral de la Asunción. Nearly 70 years in the making, the cathedral has witnessed major moments in Nicaraguan history, from the struggle for independence to the revolutions of the 20th century. It also serves as the resting place of renowned poet Rubén Darío, a fitting tribute in a country with such a deep-rooted love for poetry.
Nicaragua is the largest country in Central America and is known as Land of Fire and Water for its volcanoes and lakes. It has over 40 volcanoes with 19 active, so while in León, we decided to climb Telica Volcano. Although due to the heat, we weren't too motivated to go hiking, but thankfully this cat kicked us out of bed.
We took one of the city's many pedicabs to the bus station and then caught a bus to San Jacinto, where the hike begins. The hike itself was moderately challenging, about 22 kilometers round trip with roughly 1,000 meters of elevation gain. The real difficulty was the heat. The trail was full of wildlife too. We saw plenty of birds, millions of leafcutter ants, and even a very cool stick insect.
The views were spectacular, but the large wildfire nearby was worrying. We phoned the fire department and they seemed to be aware of it and told us to keep going.
We couldn't believe we got this whole volcano to ourselves. There was nobody around, no fences or guards around the crater. It's not recommended to spend too much time there because of the fumes, but generally it's a very safe and almost surreal experience. We also recommend checking the volcano activity reports from the local authorities before going.
What's that noise?
We are at the top of Telica Volcano. Telica. And that is what's behind us.
That's a nice volcano.
The noise is, yeah, it's all the kind of gases coming up from the volcano. It's amazing. Oh, I can smell it.
Also, we recommend timing the hike so you don't miss the last bus back to León. It's worth asking the locals about the schedule before you start hiking.
We're currently leaving León, Nicaragua. It's a hard shoulder so far. So far, so good.
We fixed a puncture and then managed to cycle another 500 meters before this got stuck in my tire.
This is ridiculous. It's like a nail almost. It's crazy how much stuff is on these roads. Oh.
Terrible.
Getting a puncture in 40 degrees is far from fun. It's very frustrating, these roads, because they actually seem like good quality roads, but there's just so much debris and garbage on them that it's impossible to avoid sometimes. So tyres are taking a real beating at the moment, and yeah, hopefully I think after Nicaragua, I think the roads hopefully will be a little bit better in terms of just glass and rubbish all over them. So we'll see. Seems like we weren't the only unlucky ones that morning. Nobody seemed to be hurt though.
When you're so hot and tired.
You just want to eat junk food and fizzy juice. Very convenient.
But we got a nice lunch.
We have got a nice lunch today, so it's good.
We've just arrived at our love hotel for the night and a massive fire started. So a bit worried. But we haven't unloaded our bikes yet, so hopefully we don't need to leave here.
Starting the day off with a big climb, and it's quite steady, thankfully. The worst thing is the traffic. It's just a lot of traffic. The shoulder's quite small. We're about to turn off onto a gravel road soon, so hopefully give us a break from all the noise of the traffic, because it's too early for this.
So Managua is just over there. And that's Lake Zolotlan that you can see as well. There you go. Our next stop was Ometepe Island, one of the largest lake islands in the world, with 2 active volcanoes. The name Ometepe comes from the Nahuatl word Ome, 2, and Tepel, mountain, for the 2 volcanoes Concepción and Maderas. Been getting a lot of friendly hello beeps from locals in Nicaragua. It's amazing how you learn to differentiate between a friendly hello and an angry get off the road. Haven't had any get off the road beeps since Mexico, and only one in Mexico actually. Before that there were countless of them in Bolivia. So it's nice to feel welcome actually. This is a traditional Nicaraguan breakfast, which consists of eggs, gallo pinto, so rice with beans, cheese, fried plantain, and, well, there's a bit of tomato sauce here. So very similar to Guatemalan breakfast, but comes with rice instead of tortilla. What do you think? Do you enjoy it?
Really like it. It's a really good breakfast. It's filling, it's healthy, it's basically you can eat it breakfast, lunch and dinner here, so it's a good change from all the kind of unhealthy food in El Salvador, so I like it. Yes, gracias.
Getting onto the island wasn't as straightforward as we hoped. The next few boats were already sold out, and once we finally secured our tickets, we discovered there were several different taxes to pay. We spent a good half hour watching drivers struggle to reverse their vehicles onto the ferry before we were allowed on. Then, we almost got kicked off for refusing to pay a 4th mysterious fee to a woman wearing a balaclava. Since we had already paid multiple port of vehicle taxes, we had no idea why she was asking for more money. When we refused, a few men, presumably ferry staff, threatened to leave without us. In the end, it turned out the fee was just under $2, so we reluctantly paid. Amusingly, no balaclava tax was charged on the way back. Cycling on Ometepe wasn't easy, with most of the paved roads made of concrete blocks, and the rest consisting of rough gravel tracks. The island, however, was incredibly lush, and thanks to its fertile volcanic soil, locals are able to grow an impressive range of crops, including plantains, coffee, cacao, and even tobacco. Wildlife was abundant too, and the Mantle's howler monkeys quickly became our favourites to spot.
Buenas. ¿Qué tipo de monos son?
Ah,
¿Cómo se llaman los monos? ¿Qué tipo?
aquí le hicimos monocongo.
Monocongo.
Congo.
Ah, monocongo, gracias.
So good. The lunches in Nicaragua are absolutely amazing. Do you like it?
Really, very much so. Very much so.
Oh, delicious.
So it's 6:24 and we're just getting ready to leave our really nice place here in Ometepe Island. We have to cycle 35 kilometers to the other side of the island to take the boat back to the mainland. Yeah, it's actually quite a hard cycle. It's much harder than we thought it would be on the island. So yeah, we're gonna head off now and hopefully get the 10 o'clock boat and then head down towards the Costa Rica border, which is where we'll sleep. And we'll cross hopefully first thing tomorrow morning if all goes to plan. So the island's a nice cycle, really nice cycle, but the mainland, this southern part of Nicaragua, is really busy with traffic, so not looking forward to that so much.
We loved relaxing on this beautiful island and weren't exactly excited about returning to the mainland. Life moved at a slower pace here, and we enjoyed a few days of good food and a stress-free existence. However, the heat was absolutely exhausting, and we didn't manage to do as much as we had hoped on the island. A good excuse to come back.
Hello. Leaving Ometepe Island. Much smoother process getting off the island than getting on. And yeah, it's our last full day cycling in Nicaragua, so it's gonna miss it. It's been a really pleasant, nice surprise to the country, and apart from the traffic kind of in the southern areas, but it's been good. People have been nice, the food's really nice, and this island, Ometepe, absolutely beautiful. Definitely worth spending a few days, so success.
We were very pleasantly surprised by Nicaragua, and from almost not wanting to visit, it quickly became one of our favourite countries in Central America. We'd love to return and explore more of it. However, it was time to head to Costa Rica and spend some time with family.